Morning. Following on from our video last time, we're talking about transitioning into the bridle, from the snaffle into the bridle. This is really aimed at most of you who are trying to do this yourself, okay? Professional trainers all have their own way of doing it, and there's nothing set in stone. What I'm going to show you is just what I do, okay? So let's say your horse, and I said this in the last video, your horse must be light to the rein. It must be able to bend left, right, move its body, so you've got all the things on it. So I'm just recapping on what we did last time. So let's assume we've got all that, and we're putting the bridle on your horse. Now, when we term a bridle, it means a curb bit with a curb chain. So that's this here, curb bit, curb chain. And this horse has not been in the bridle probably half a dozen times, so I'm not showing you the very first time, but you saw as soon as I moved her head, she sort of put her head up. That's what will happen. So again, what I always try and do is to, even though she's soft in the snaffle, when you pick up, that's a resistance to me. So you've got to fix that, okay? So, number one thing, remember your bridle is one-handed, okay? One-handed. I've spoken to you in another video about how to hold the reins one-handed, so I'm not going to do that again. However, what I do in transitioning into the bridle is switch a little bit from two-handed to a little bit of one-handed and back to two. So this is how I hold my reins for training into one-handed. I don't put a finger between the reins. This is training, remember. When you show, you have to put a finger between the reins. When you're not, I don't put a finger between the reins, but I use these three little fingers over here to come around here, and I use this as my spare hand. So what I can do is, let's say I'm riding here, and I ride like that. I'll ride with my fingers here. So when I squeeze, I want her to do exactly that. I want to squeeze, draw, release, squeeze with my legs first. So I want her to associate my legs with my hands coming after. So I'm going to put my fingers around here, ready. If she doesn't drop her nose, then I can take her like that and then put her down again as though I'm one-handed. I'll do it again. Squeeze first with your legs, draw, and fix the head, and then put your hands back to one-handed. So all the time you must think about getting back to the center line. This is your center line. This is your square where your hand should be to get response. Up here, back here, over there, over there. Don't want to see all this, all that. Horse has got to be between the reins, okay? And the same with their head. They've got a little square there that they're allowed to be in. Outside of that, they will get corrected, okay? So that's just the first step. So I'm just going to work this mare in the round yard first so you can see what she does to show you and me as a rider that she's not in the bridle properly yet. She'll make some mistakes. I'll also show you how I'm fixing them. I might chatter in that, but you sometimes lose the volume, so that's why I'm talking to you now. And we'll summarise at the end of it and just see how we go. So again, this mare, she's really good in the snaffle, but she's still got to get used to the curb. Always make sure your chain is not too tight. That will cause you problems. The chain on your bridle is loose. Initially, you can tighten it up gradually, but just to start with. Some horses won't like it at all. You may even need to take the chain off just for a little while until they get used to the curb action, because look at your curb, it's quite a length down, and it's a lot more it's a lot more, not severe, but it gives you a lot more leverage. So again, compensate that with your hands as well. And nothing changes, still use your legs first. Okay, so I'm going to ride her now and put her through walk, jog, lope, and you'll see through her transitions that this is where she'll come undone in the bridle. So what I'm going to do still is I'm riding like this. I'm still two-handed, but I'm going to be here making my corrections. I'm not doing this. I'm not out here. Hands aren't down here. My hands are together. She's got to learn to stay between the reins. Okay, that's her deal. So when I squeeze my legs, I want to head there. But also, I've got my hands here so I can make the corrections. All right. Once I've made the correction, then leave her alone and put her back down here where she's on her own. Let her make the mistake, squeeze, fix the mistake, and then put her down again. You may have to pick it up in 2 strides, that's okay. All right, so we'll just start. She's keeping her head in a good position, so I'm leaving her alone. Her head will come up probably in the lope transition. I just checked her through that. Put her down. Again in the downward transition, fix her, leave her alone. I'll do it again. This time I'm going to hold her a little bit through the transition. You can see she's wanting to get a little bit antsy. Just be steady with your hands and do the same thing. Fix it, leave it alone. Fix it, leave it alone. So just to summarise that little clip is we've actually put her through walk, very slow jog, not a ranch jog. That's the pleasure jog that she was doing. So obviously then I moved her forward into more a working trot. So there's all the while you're thinking about position, collection, and being soft and breaking down resistance. Now some of you may look at this and go, yeah, but we don't want them all framed up like that. When you let these horses totally relax and you're not training quite so much, but they know the drill, they will automatically, they'll bring their neck up a little bit more, they'll relax their jaw, they will stick their nose out a little bit more. Right now she's quite collected, and I'm doing that deliberately because I like my horses between the hands and my legs initially. All right, once they know the rules, then you can let them go. All right, so in my next video, to follow up part 3 from this one, will be a little bit further about getting them in the bridle. But just remember, keep your hands close, no further than your hips, like, well, not even your hips, just here, okay, just here. Keep them, really be mindful of keeping corrections between the reins, all right? And don't worry about little jiggles, you'll have them, you'll have little baubles. Fix them, put them down, leave them alone. Just don't nag them. Get it fixed and then leave them alone. So I'll see you at the next video, and we'll be doing a little bit more on putting your horse in the bridle for the first time.